When I was in my active addiction, I hated waking up in the morning. This video is for some of the new people who are subscribed to my channel. I'm on my way to work right now. Kind of running a little bit late, so I'm not going to be able to park and do a video, but I did want to talk about waking up sober. The reason I would hate waking up in the morning when I was in my active addiction, I was the type of alcoholic to where however much I had, that's how much I was going to drink before I finally went to bed. Whether it be 2 pints, 3 pints, whatever. Well, then I would go to bed highly intoxicated, and of course, while I was sleeping, my body would be getting rid of the alcohol, and it would be, I'd wake up withdrawing. And when I would first open my eyes, this is, I'll never forget this. As soon as I opened my eyes in the morning, I did everything I could to not move. I didn't want to jar my system. I didn't want to cough. I didn't want to yawn. I didn't want to move. I didn't want to do anything to acknowledge the fact that I'm awake. And here we go. Because as soon as I would move, here comes the withdrawals. Here comes the shaking. And boy, the dry heaves were, they could get painful. The dry heaving was horrible. The shaking was so violent that I could not hold a glass of water to try to get rehydrated at some point, or to a point. But I couldn't hold the water. I couldn't get it up to my mouth, to take a drink. So of course then came the, well, how much longer do I have to wait before the liquor store opens? Sometimes I'd get lucky and sleep long enough to where I only waited an hour, only had to wait like a half hour, 45 minutes before the liquor store opened. So by the time I got myself dressed the best I could and looked to see, do I have any money to go buy some, I could get to the liquor store, and sometimes I was not so lucky. I knew if I woke up and started that dry heaving and the shaking and just feeling absolute horrible because my body was screaming at me, put alcohol in me, put alcohol in me right now. But if I looked outside and it was still dark, I knew there was no going back to sleep. I could not go back to sleep once the withdrawals started kicking in real good. So I knew I had a long time to wait because the liquor store didn't open until 10 o'clock. So, it's probably like 6 o'clock in the morning, somewhere around there. That was a long, disgusting, agonizing 4 hours or whatever it was, to have to go through that. And of course, it just seemed like time just drug on. I couldn't do anything to speed the time up, to occupy my mind, to make time seem like it was going faster. It was just a constant, it was horrible. And then when I would get to the liquor store, I would drive myself to the liquor store, and I'd start the day off with, I would get a half pint of vodka and then also a pint of vodka. Now, a lot of, questions would come up. I'd hear over the years, why didn't you just get what you needed for that day? It's not how the alcoholic brain works. If I just bought what I needed for that moment, I was not an alcoholic. Or I knew I was an alcoholic, but I wasn't that bad. Well, the reason I would get a half pint and a pint. The pint was for later. The half pint was for the parking lot at the liquor store. Once I fumbled around and was able to actually pay for the vodka, which sometimes the lady behind the counter would have to help me because I would be shaking so bad I couldn't punch my 4-digit PIN code. Or if I was paying with cash, she would go to give me my change back and I would be shaking so hard that out of embarrassment, I just tell her, just keep it, you know, you're just hold on to it, you're fine, I'll get me tomorrow or whatever. But I would take that half pint of vodka out in the parking lot and down half of it. So that's a quarter pint of vodka, just to be able to feel better, just to be able to feel normal. And that would stop the shaking, the dry heaving. And the first couple of sips were just ugly sips, man, because my body, even though my body wanted it so bad, it was still trying to reject me. It would try to reject it. Sorry, guys. And, so, I mean, sometimes I'd have vodka coming out of my nose. Sometimes I'd have it, you know, spitting out of my mouth. I'd have it all over my shirt. But eventually, I would get a couple good slugs down. And within a few minutes, I had a friend one time who witnessed this. He said it's an amazing transformation. He said that after you do that, you'll just, after a few minutes, you'll go, that's the alcohol taking effect, and that's me feeling better. So going to bed sober, waking up sober, yeah, it's more than just a little catchphrase for this channel. It is absolutely one of the greatest experiences I have right now. Because when I wake up sober, I don't have to go through all that. I don't have to do that. I can open my eyes. It's a beautiful, fresh day of sobriety, whether it's nasty outside, raining, snowing, 107 degrees right now in Tulsa. Waking up sober is one of the greatest gifts sobriety has given me, because it was an ugly morning when I was in my active addiction. So, after I would get that half pint done, that other pint would last me till about maybe 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. And of course, I'm half lit. And I'd go right back to the liquor store, but this time it was a different trip. I was not shaking, I was laughing or mean or whatever the day would bring from the alcoholism. So guys, if you are in active addiction, I really do encourage you with everything I got to get the help you need, get the help you deserve, because just little things, waking up sober in the morning is an absolute beautiful experience. With that being said, you guys have a beautiful, wonderful, blessed Friday and weekend. I'll see y'all in the next video.